What is good, guys? Welcome to a Bring the Thunder podcast live here for you guys. We're just going to be covering not ourselves, but we will be bringing on people to talk about OKC's win 133-100 over the 76ers. So we already have one person in our live willing to start us off here. So why don't we get him going here and see what he's got to think. So what's up, man? Welcome to the
So,
welcome to the Bring the Thunder live here. Go ahead and introduce yourself and then give us some of your thoughts on the game and whatnot.
my name's Rafi. I've been a Thunder fan since 2014. We had a crazy game today. Aaron Wiggins had 26, I believe, and Chet had 19. Great job for the whole squad. Without Shea, without J Dubs, without IH.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure, man. What was the specific performance that stood out to you?
So many threes from Isaiah Joe tonight. Really, those are great to watch.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, all around good game for sure. Let me check out some of the other stats we got going here. Got the J Will triple double. What are your thoughts on that one? Like a second one in 6 games, first OKC player to do that for his first 2 triple doubles. That's absurd.
That's insane. I didn't even know about that one. That's crazy. That again?
Yeah, he had 19, 17, and 11.
Yeah, man. That was super dope. And then we have a bunch of it feels like we got some regulars coming in on YouTube. So we got Sean in the chat. These, feel free to ask Gabe or Rafi or myself any questions you guys may have. So thanks for joining. Wanted to shout them out. And I'll also look at the Instagram chat here and see if there's anyone on that side.
Absolutely, for sure. Let me look at some other stuff overall with what was going on with the Sixers, for example. Quentin Grimes once again having a good game. Rafi, what are some of your thoughts on just the Sixers in general in this game?
I do not like the Sixers at all. I have nothing to say good about them. Nothing.
Man, I'm not. I was gonna say I'm not gonna call you out for that one, but Quentin Grimes drops 28, all around good. I mean, solid game out of him, but I think once again, just kind of talking about the game in general, looking at some of the other OKC players. Let's see.
Shout out to Jared Butler. I thought that was dope to see him trading buckets there with Adam Flagler in the fourth quarter. It was just fun. Like, I love seeing ex-Thunder players, joining and all that. So.
Oh yeah, I saw Jeremy Lamb. Jeremy Lamb was in the stands today.
Yeah, for sure.
No way. I must have missed that.
They were posting about it before the game. It was actually pretty cool.
We got someone, Boy Skies in the IG chat mentioned Adam Flagler legacy game here. Also, Quentin Grimes recently started up a TikTok. So a lot of people have been calling him, just to troll him, like a TikToker more than a actual like NBA player. And I feel like they have a couple, him and McCain over there kind of leading the TikTok charge. So just some side notes.
The TikTok charge. That's crazy.
I mean, that's what they're doing. I know Kyle, what's his name? Kyle Lowry's in shambles watching that.
That was awesome, that comment that he made. But, I mean, this was an interesting game, just with us not playing, any of our starters outside of Chet, but at the same time, having control of Philly's pick that's top 6 protected, So this was an interesting game. I mean, you don't want to say you want to lose because you never want to lose, but, it was just kind of like what happens, whatever whatever happens is okay.
Yeah, this was definitely a win-win scenario. So, Rafi, if you don't know, like, we're kind of in the contention to get the 6 through 9 pick if the 76ers continued to win. So us losing in this case would actually help our odds towards that. I think this drops our odds pretty significantly now that we kind of won this game. And I don't see, like, Paul George is obviously not coming back. And just in general, the injuries that they have, like the roster that they put out couldn't even hang with our third string guys. And we're obviously a really deep team, but I don't think they can really beat anyone with the roster that they currently have, in my personal opinion.
I honestly feel bad for Paul George. Ever since that leg injury in 2014, he hasn't been the same. We would have easily won the whole thing in 2019 against the Toronto Raptors if PG just had his shoulders together.
Both shoulders gave up on him. I feel like that was the worst news that I'd heard because he'd had like the craziest season. And then he gets a lot of backlash. I mean, even from myself and other Thunder fans. But the injury part in the playoffs, like, definitely destroyed his reputation. And it's carried on up until now. Like, I mean, he's got crazy money. But in terms of the injuries, I feel like I just feel bad for him because the type of player he was, like, without injuries, is ridiculous. And we'll see flashes of it. He'll drop like 30 and 8 and 5 or whatever, and he looks smooth one night and then has a knick-knack injury the next. So that's just kind of where his career is at.
He had 40 against the Clippers last year.
Yeah, exactly. Dude's still dropping 40. I just can't believe. I mean, if you're a Sixers fan and you had to sit there and look at that starting lineup tonight, that was brutal. I mean, that was one of the craziest starting lineups I've seen in a long time. Like, it's pretty cool that they got Grimes. I mean, Dallas is doing whatever they can to make everything look terrible, so they got rid of Grimes. But having Grimes is nice, and I mean, the guy played fine tonight. I mean, he had 28 points, but it didn't really feel like he had 28 points. Like, it was them constantly just getting points because they were down by so much. So he had 28, but other than that, like, that was a crazy lineup. I mean, other than Gershon Yabusele randomly cashing some threes, like, it's just a weird lineup, man. Such a strange team.
Yeah, we got Trixie in the chat mentioned 76ers suck so bad. We didn't even need SGA for this game. And then on IG, Voice Guys mentioned that this is a question that he asked for all three of us is, will this bench produce like this for the playoffs? That's the main question all the top analysts are asking. The other useless questions that they're asking is whether we have enough experience or this or that. But the real question is, will the bench support SGA? I mean, that's really what it comes down to, whether we win a lot of games or we don't. So what do you guys think about that?
I'll let you go with it, Rafa. You're the guest. Let's hear it.
Yeah, man.
I think OKC 2025, 2026, 2027, 2028, 2029, 2030, 2031, 2032, 2033.
Forever.
Yeah, like 8 in a row. Our experience doesn't matter. KD took our team to the finals in 2012, and we played a really strong LeBron James team. And the NBA was different back then. We didn't get a game 5 at home for some reason.
Yeah,
so
the format was different. I actually preferred the previous format. Like, I remember when the format changed for the playoffs, I was like, it's kind of weird, like the way it's structured. Now I'm kind of course, more used to it, but I still preferred kind of the back and forth. Whereas now it's, I think, 2-2, 1-1 or something like that. And
yeah, it's 2-2 and then 1-1, 1-1 until they're done. But I think, in my opinion, for the bench, obviously you can't expect them to do as he asked what they did tonight. I mean, they're all getting starter level minutes. Like, that's not going to happen. But just like in terms of the quality of what they're producing off the bench, I think certain players, yes. I don't think we're going to get the same kind of stuff, especially from Jay Will, because I don't think he's going to see as many minutes, which is unfortunate. I love Jay Will. Every time I see him play, he's such a fun guy on and off the court. Like, I love Jay Will so much, but we've kind of talked about this before in other episodes, but there's just not a lot of minutes for him, which is unfortunate. So I don't know if we see him particularly getting minutes like that. So I think some guys will definitely show up. I think Isaiah Joe, Aaron Wiggins, those guys are our locks. I think Kenny Hustle is going to be very useful off the bench as well. So, but like, we didn't even have some of our most important bench guys tonight. I mean, we don't have Caruso. We don't have – so, I mean, there's still other guys that need minutes, So it'll be interesting.
Kassan and Joe, I feel like they'll be snipers in the playoffs.
Yeah,
playoff time, we're just going to be all shooting threes.
The one thing I am worried about from a bench perspective that I've noticed is we're kind of phasing out Isaiah Joe a little bit, and kind of in thick and thin times, he's kind of the guy that we need warmed up. So I hope he starts getting more minutes here in the later half of, or like these like last 15 games that we have left, that's the person that I want to see kind of warming up. And I don't mind if he puts up 10 plus threes a game or something, just to kind of get warmed up. Because when he's on fire, like he's one of those guys that can really step up for us. So he's the guy. He's not cold or anything. It's just we're just not giving him the consistent minutes because we have so many other players that can play. But with Lou Dort kind of having his injury, us having J-Dub resting and things like that, like I'm hoping to see a lot more of Isaiah Joe kind of for that point. But everyone else, I feel like, is going to be consistent. The other guy that's picking up steam here is Jay Will. Like Jay Will for MVP at this point, man. Triple-double king, dribble handoff king. I mean, he's amazing in dribble handoff actions. The thing I'm noticing also, he's solid defender at the rim. Like he's gotten much better at his contests. They're a lot more smothered looks. He's going straight up. He's not really contesting with fouling. That was another issue with him. He was such a big body. He's slimmed down a little bit, enough to be a mobile person that can be on the perimeter, be down low. Like the undersized part of his game was like struggling because he was kind of a little bit bigger to start the season. But now you can tell he's definitely slimmed down and he can run up and down the court. And that kind of makes him super dangerous. So I really like that he's coming about. And obviously Wiggins tonight was scoring like a maniac.
Jay Will is definitely proving his value to the team. Like I thought that guy was just there because we need him for the chemistry, because we have really good chemistry with him. But he's really proving that he's more than just the chemistry.
Absolutely. Especially, I mean, just kind of like in the 2 games where we let our bench guys end up starting and the starters take a seat out, he gets 2 triple doubles. Like he's not just stat padding. It's not accidental. Like the guy is good. The guy is talented. And we got to be one of the few teams that's got 3 big men that all are ridiculously good at passing. So, I mean, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, we also got a comment here by Skies again. We need actual sets for Joe. We kind of use him more situationally, and we kind of use him more in the free-flowing part of the game. And I feel like a player like him that has a set shot the way he does, he'd benefit a lot more. I don't mind the on-the-play or adjustments on the go that we have with Mark, where he calls out a play and we run it, and we do that pretty often. Right. But I wish we had a lot more set plays where he's the go-to guy, where we can get him in the corner open for screens. Like there's a lot of actions similar to Steph Curry when he runs around, when he's off the ball, that we can kind of run for him. So there's ways to get him open, but it's also hard for him in that sense to run those set plays. As a counter argument to that is, if he's the only real big shooting threat out there, it's hard to get him open because they can easily, double him on the screens and stuff like that. So hopefully we work on that. I like the way that the offense is free flowing, but I honestly wouldn't mind like a couple sets where if he can get like a bunch of threes off in a game, like him having possessions, like I don't mind that at all. Also, Rafi, I wanted to ask about, I guess Brandon Carlson had 16 points, 6 rebounds. Like he's really picked up his game. What do you think about him?
That's crazy. I was about to talk about him. This guy came out of nowhere. I didn't even know he was on the team until today, actually. This guy, like, shooting threes left and right today. He's really good. He has I'm going to say this right now. This guy has really, like, good potential. This guy is good. If we keep our team like this, he's going to be one of our, like, top players in a couple of years.
He's a beast. He's absolutely a beast. I mean, we've talked about him a lot on this podcast because we're kind of, I don't think the word is like delusional because he's a good player, but we just really like him. So we've been talking about him a lot. So every chance that we see him come out and get a bunch of minutes, I mean, we got to be his biggest fanboys in the league. I mean, it's just so cool seeing him get serious minutes and actually perform. But you know what surprised me with him tonight is it's felt like a lot of the games he's kind of come in and just been that guy who sits there and catches and knocks down the three whenever he does play. And I'm a big fan of that. he was fighting on the boards tonight. He was pulling some boards down. He was fighting in the paint. He got that tough and one for his first bucket. I mean, he was kind of fighting a bit more tonight, so I like seeing that. I mean, I'm interested in him to see if we end up keeping him. That'll be fun.
Yeah, that'd be super dope. And then we got a question from Blaster here. He mentioned if the Sixers get their pick this season, do we get a better pick next season? I believe, because I'm on the spot right now, I believe the pick dilutes a little bit, but it could also be one where there's no protections on the pick, so it could get better in that sense. Or I think it has maybe like top 3 protections instead of top 6 or 7 or top 6.
I'm pretty sure it's top 4.
Yeah, top 4 or 5. Yeah.
I think for the next 2 years it would be a top 4 protected, and then if we didn't get it again, I believe it would. I'm not sure what happens if we don't get it.
I think it turns into 2 seconds after that.
That's probably what it would be. Yeah.
Yeah. Eventually, they do dilute if we don't ever get the picks, and then they turn into seconds, and then Presti turns them back around into first rounders. So no worries. No worries there. He'll turn them around, but honestly, I wouldn't mind next year's pick if the Sixers want to be this bad and they don't want to be so bad that they're tanking. I honestly wouldn't mind having like a top 5 pick next year. The draft is even better. It's even more stacked than the one this year. I mean, they have the Boozer twins and a couple other guys on that next year's draft in the top 5. Yeah. So I'd be excited about that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, especially like you were mentioning with if they want to be this bad, I mean, obviously they're just rolling out teams that, I mean, if they're not considered tanking, I'm not sure what is, because they're just rolling out rosters that are just kind of, I mean, I don't know. It's hard because you got Embiid, who you can't question his injury, if he's actually injured or not, because you know he is. But like the stuff with, you got Maxey not playing, you got Paul George not playing.
Maxey's hurt. Right.
You got so many guys that are just hurt. Like, it's like, let's just move on next season. It's not worth trying to get this pick. They're not going to win. Like, it's just not going to happen this year. If it does, that'd be awesome. The only way is if the lottery screws them and they drop. So I'm not thinking they're just going to straight up drop out of the top 6. But who knows?
Yeah, we'll definitely see how it kind of plays out. We have a couple more games here left. I guess I honestly don't mind it going to next season, because it could be very well horrible for them next season as well. But I feel like they're going to be more of a middle of the pack team with injuries, and that's kind of what their contract situation is put them into. But I think with like McCain, Grimes, and Maxey, if they're all healthy, like this is definitely like a 500 level team next season. And then mix in a couple games from Paul George and Joel Embiid, like they can be maybe like a 6 seed or something like that. But like we'll still get a like back end first rounder. Like Presti can probably move up and put a couple picks together. I think we have like 3 or 4 picks next season, so wouldn't mind that either. And in that draft, I think I'd prefer that draft over this one.
Yeah. The other thing is we just don't. I mean, worst case scenario is that pick doesn't end up being that good, and we just don't even kind of need it. I mean, like it'd be cool to get it, but we don't need it. Like it's a luxury. It's nice that we would have the opportunity, but like it's not like we're literally banking our entire future on whether or not we get a top 10 pick next year. Like we'll be all right, but it would be nice. So I guess we'll have to see.
Yeah. I also wanted to ask, what do you guys think about us holding this team to 100 points? Like defense has been a little relaxed. I'm glad, like even without our starters, we did pretty well. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah. I'll let you go, man.
Pretty good. We held them to we won by 33 points, so pretty good. We held them to 100 points. Pretty decent for the way we played.
Not just the way we played, but the players we played. You know, I mean, we're not playing any. I mean, and that's not an insult against our players. We have phenomenal players. Like I love our guys, but we literally are rolling out like giving more minutes to our third string players and we're holding them to 100. Like every player on this team is a capable defender. That's just kind of what happens. Is you just see how many guys are good at actually defending. So like you kind of mentioned, Sabir, we've had some issues with defense a little bit, some ups and downs. So even when it's the bench guys playing a bad team, it's still nice to see just the defense really locking in and forcing turnovers and just bringing back that kind of vibe.
Also, on the bench, like J-Dub got up a couple times when we'd get blocks or deflections. The other thing I just looked at the stat line. Chuma Akiki had 14 points with 15 rebounds. Like, what the heck?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was ridiculous. Yeah, no,
Awesome.
he was all over the place. He was 4 for 5 from 3 as well.
Yeah. Also, I think it's a good time to wrap it up. I appreciate you joining us here, Rafi. Hopefully you can join us up for a couple more lives like this. And thank you to everyone that joined on IG or YouTube. If you guys have questions about this game or any upcoming games or whatever, feel free to join in, and we'll end it off here.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.